Holy Batman, that was rough. Alright, I'll let people get in here and then maybe zoom forward since I don't think it's live anymore. So, probably last live we're going to do today. I'm just going to let people get in here and then get her going. Now, at first, I thought the audio wasn't working, but it's just because it's actually their audio wasn't working. So that's awesome. All right, just let me know if anybody's in, and I will motor. So I don't quite know what they're trying to do here. They're kind of just hanging out. Okay, so let's... Interesting, interesting. So let's see what Jameet has to... Oh, and it cut out again. Gosh darn it, can't the NDP get their dang audio? Sorry. Yeah. So just let me know when you guys get in the chat below, and then I will start talking politics and stuff like that. Since we don't really have anybody in right now. And we're kind of waiting on the NDP to figure out their stuff. Holy moly. I'm going to be out for a bit. I will be back at ASAP. See, we got one view, so thank you for that view, but so far this is not my audio, I promise. It's nuts how you could have like so much money per stream or proper audio. freaking awesome. Oh, now we got the audio going. Woohoo.
1 2 1 2 1 2.
Oh, yeah, sure.
1
Thanks.
2.
All right.
Hi everybody.
No worries.
I'm Simon Charon. I'm the press secretary for the bus tour.
So I think what we're going to do right here is I'm going to start and stop it until we get a lot of concurrent viewers or anybody in the chat. Probably people in the chat. And if there's any super chats, I'll call them out. But I'll be making a video of this later. So I'll probably do the same thing. Start and stop it every once in a while rather than just talking through it. Let me know if that annoys you or not. And then I'll change it up. Other than that, let's get to this.
Welcome for the campaign launch. So a few indications for the media. We're gonna start at 1:30. I'll give you a 2 minutes warning before the leader enters the room. So for the question period, we're gonna have the mic right here behind Juliane in green. And it's going to be one question and one follow-up for each network. Donc, bonjour tout le monde. On va commencer à 1h30. Je vais vous donner un petit 2 minutes d'avertissement avant que le leader... Et une relance à la fin des statements. The leader will make a statement in English and then in French. Should be like 20 minutes. Donc, le leader va prendre la parole pendant à peu près 20 minutes, d'abord en anglais, ensuite en français. That's it. Thank you.
I guess they got the music going. I probably have to do some singing over top of it just because I'll get in trouble. Okay, we don't need all the music. Well, at least what I could say is they're giving me a chance to get people in my stream too, so yay? Or thank you?
Yeah, it's like a rubber,
All right. Oh, nope, we're still not going. Holy moly. And we got, seems like we got 2 views in here, which is pretty freaking sweet already. Let me know if you guys are watching. I think because I think the concurrent viewers means who's watching right now, so. I can tell you I'm going to have to cut a lot of this stuff at the front. Wow. I mean, I'm not going to have people watch me rant.
Two minutes warning. Dans 2 minutes, on va commencer.
They said go. Don't like go east side. That was direct review. Just like the sign says.
Oh, and I think we're getting ready to go here. Maybe? Boom, joo boo, joo boo, joo boo, joo boo, joo. All right, yeah, we don't need to listen to this.
Stewardship of these lands. Thank you so much, my friends, for being here. Thank you for taking the time. Before we begin, I want to acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional and unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe people. This land has been home to indigenous people since time immemorial, and we recognize their enduring presence, culture.
Of course, we have to go through the recognition first.
We commit ourselves to reconciliation and justice, not just in words, but in action. And I want to take a moment to recognize some of the incredible people in this room. Our dedicated volunteer, our team, thank you so much. Our candidates who are ready to fight for you. Yes. And most importantly, you, the people who make this country great. Thank you. My parents chose Canada because they believed in the promise of a country
Canada great
where
again.
if you worked hard, you can build a good life, where we look out for one another and no one gets left behind. That's who we are. That's what makes us Canadian. The things that we are most proud of as Canadians didn't just happen. They were not gifts from the powerful. New Democrats fought for them because you believe that if you get sick, you get care. So we fought for and won universal health care.
Yeah, you know you didn't.
Because
you fought for contraceptives.
No one should go bankrupt trying to pay a hospital bill. We believe that if you've worked hard all your life, you should be able to retire with dignity. So we fought for and won pensions. We believe that you have the right to join a union. So you can demand fairness and stand up to the boss. So we fought for those rights and we won. We believe that whoever you are, whether you were born here or you came here, whatever the color of your skin, whoever you love, or what pronouns you use, however you worship or what you believe, you belong, you are valued, and you have every right to everything this country has to offer.
So pretty much like every candidate in Canada, they believe the same thing.
These are NDP values. These are Canadian values. That's the Canada I love, and that's the Canada worth fighting for. And when New Democrats are elected, that's exactly what we do. Even before Donald Trump started his greedy trade war, times were tough. And we fought to make things better for you and your family. Paid sick days and laws to protect you at work, that was us. Dental care, so you don't have to choose between living in pain and buying groceries, that was us.
And I got a lot to say about
Pharmacare,
dental care.
so you can afford the medicine your doctor prescribes, that was us.
Okay, the insulin was pretty good, but
because we believe
contraceptives,
that the promise of
why
Canada
are we paying for
belongs to all of us. Let me tell you a story of Brianna. Brianna is a mom that I met in Edmonton. I met her in a park with her beautiful family. She's got 5 kids, single mom, and so she is struggling. So this is all she could do is to keep the roof over her head, to support her kids, and put food on the table. And so as a mom, she had to make some sacrifices. She had to make some tough choices. And one of the things that she had to do, given how expensive things are, is she could not afford to take her kids to the dentist. And she felt a lot of mom guilt. It's a feeling that a lot of parents understand, that feeling that you're not doing everything you can to take care of your kids. And so she felt that guilt until we fought for and delivered dental care for kids. That dental care meant the difference for her family. The first time that they saw a dentist was because of that plan we fought for. And she told me that her eldest actually turned out to have a rare condition that they caught early, and now he's going to have an awesome life. Her other kids were able to get dental care for the first time in their lives, and they're happier and healthier. And I can attest to that because I saw them in that park smiling and playing. I can remember that look of joy on their faces and that feeling that Brianna had, knowing that she had been able to take care of her kids. Brianna is who we fight for, and we will keep fighting for her and every Canadian.
Now, I don't mind that kids are getting all this dental work because they do need that. But I mean, when it goes to everybody, we can't pay for that stuff.
A great future
and this is
further and
for the provinces to deal with.
A mother sitting at her kitchen table, bills spread out in front of her, wondering if she can pay the rent or still afford groceries. A young couple scrolling through listings, realizing that owning a home is slipping further out of reach. A senior without a family doctor, waiting for the health care they need. And now, because of Donald Trump's illegal trade war, things are getting even more expensive. Thousands of Canadians are losing their jobs. The people who built this country are paying the greatest price, and that's not fair. They deserve a government that has their backs. You deserve a government that has your back, and we will fight like hell to make sure that happens.
You haven't had our back for about, 4 years?
You deserve a prime minister you can trust to make decisions in your best interest, not to advance his personal wealth. And we know that someone who's going to be fighting in your best interest, that's not Mark Carney. He has spent his whole career serving the interests of billionaires.
How's that pension going for you, Jameet, right now?
He makes decisions that benefit people like him. He's not our guy. Because anyone who profits off the crisis should not be in charge of fixing it. Right now, the people who built this country, the folks without multi-million-dollar portfolios, without blind trusts or hedge funds, the people who earn their living by showing up to work, who dream of owning a home, raising a family, and retiring with a modest pension, they're being abandoned. Mark Carney spent his career making sure the system worked for the most wealthy, not for you. While families struggled to pay rent, he was helping banks and investors profit off the housing crisis. When people needed relief, he made sure corporations driving up prices kept raking in profits. He cashed in while Canadians were struggling. Now he wants you to believe he'll fix the very things that made him and his friends richer. He won't fight for everyday people because that's not who he is. And that won't change now. And Pierre Poilievre, his only solution is tax breaks for the wealthy, and that will cost you. He pretends he's on your side, but in the back rooms, he's cutting deals with the very billionaires, jacking up your rent and groceries. He posed in front of workers who had just lost their jobs, and he said nothing about fixing EI to help them pay the bills. Pierre Poilievre talks about freedom, but he's only offering freedom for the ultra-rich. Freedom for corporations to jack up your rent. Freedom for billionaires to avoid paying taxes. Freedom for big corporations to buy up our healthcare.
Commenting on that stuff because you never really know. But we still shouldn't be paying for
more people
contraceptives. That's
for-profit clinics.
That's ridiculous.
He wants to gut environmental protections, handing more control to big
that's
polluters
true, that
who put profits
federally
ahead of clean
funded
air and water.
Contraceptives just leads to more promiscuity. So you are definitely right on that
billionaires
point.
Get even richer. When times get tougher, he won't step in. He'll step aside. That's not leadership. That's not a plan that will build a Canada we can be proud of. Let me be perfectly clear. We will never be Trump's 51st state, not in name, not in values, not ever.
So pretty much their stance is what every other politician's stance here in Canada is. There's no difference.
Elbows up, everybody.
From the point of the 51st state.
And I won't let anyone in this election tell Canadians that the only way to beat Donald Trump is to become more like his version of the United States, where billionaires rule and everyday people pay. Now, I get it. Right now, it can feel like a storm is closing in on us. People are looking for shelter, for protection, for someone to keep them and their families safe. People who are afraid a Pierre Poilievre government might make them think they have no choice but Carney. But this is like being told you have to pick between a leaky house, a house with a leaky roof, or a cracked foundation. One patched together with empty conservative slogans, the other rotting from the inside after years of liberals protecting the most wealthy. Now, those houses are not the same, but neither will hold up when the storm hits, because neither was built for you. People will tell you in this election that it's about who can negotiate with Donald Trump. I'm here to tell you the real question is
like
who
buying
makes sure
a house
you
without
and the things that you care about are not on the table.
Looking at it before.
When Donald Trump comes
everything
demanding concessions,
can be rotted.
Who will say no
the
to trading away Canadian jobs
cracked.
or the things we grow and build and ship?
Pipes
Who will
are
stop
leaking.
them from bargaining with environmental protections
The
just
roof's
to
got
protect
holes
corporate
in
profits? Who will fight back when Mark Carney says we have to cut health care or pensions to keep investors happy? Who will stand up when Pierre Poilievre says you have to accept an American-style healthcare system where you pay more? Also, he can give tax breaks to billionaires. Only New Democrats can be trusted to look out for you.
just like you've been looking out for us for the past 9 years. Yeah, so looking out for us. How's that lunch school food program going?
Donald Trump is showing us in real time what happens when billionaires and the people who work for them are in charge. Everything gets more expensive. Rights get stripped away, and regular people are left to clean up the mess, while the wealthy walk away richer. We don't need that here in Canada. We don't need that at all. We all know that we're in for a rough road ahead. Things are already tough. And at the end of the day, only New Democrats will fight to make sure you don't pay the price when things get harder. I'm running in this election to fight for you, not the billionaires. New Democrats have a strong and proud record of getting things done. When prices skyrocketed, we fought for relief. When people were laid off, we fought for jobs and better support. When corporate greed ran wild, we went after the billionaires like Galen Weston, Elon Musk, and Jeff Bezos. Because when families are struggling, when your job and livelihood is on the line, when prices are soaring, New Democrats choose
now they're blaming
you
Elon Musk
every time.
That's great. The only thing Elon Musk tried to do was bring Teslas to Canada and satellites to northern Canada.
The wealthy and powerful will never hand us change. They have too much to lose. Each victory for Canadians, for families, and for working and middle-class people, from pensions to public health care, was won because people like you fought for it. Billionaires don't stay rich by playing fair. They don't wake up one morning and decide to stop gouging you at the grocery store. They don't just decide to lower your rent or to raise your wages. That only happens when we demand it, when we fight for it, and when we win.
So what are you going to do for us, Jake? What are you going to do for us?
Do not let the rich and powerful tell you that you deserve less. Do not let them convince you that in a time of crisis, you must sacrifice while they profit. Because when the storm hits, they won't feel it. They'll have golden parachutes, private clinics, and tax shelters. But for working and middle-class families, the only way life gets better is by standing together and electing leaders who will fight for you, not for the billionaires. That's what this election is about. That's what's at stake. We see what's happening in the US. Greed is tearing it apart. And those same forces are banging at our door. We can and we must fight back.
Yeah,
you are worth fighting for, and I'm in it for you. Thank you so much. Merci. Merci. Thank you. Thank you.
So he's just going to gloss over everything he's done the past 4 years and how he's just messed up Canada and pretty much been whipping boy of the Liberals. That we're just going to gloss over that and say that he's really looking at, I want to say forward to Canadians, but that's not the right word. Looking after Canadians. Yeah, we're going to go straight there.
Partout où je vais, les gens sont fatigués et inquiets. Ils perdent l'espoir que les choses vont enfin s'améliorer. Ils craignent les impacts de Donald Trump et du fait que les ultra-riches ont complètement pris le contrôle des États-Unis. On ne veut pas que ça arrive ici. Les gens font tout ce qu'il faut et ils n'arrivent pas à payer le loyer ou remplir le frigo. Pendant ce temps, dire que ce n'est pas possible. Ces gens ont besoin de protection. Tout le monde peut se loger sans se ruiner.
One question, one follow-up. Please tell me your name and your media.
Hi, I'm Christy Kirkup with the Globe and Mail. Mr. Singh, with all due respect, you are the most experienced federal leader, but you're going into this campaign considered the underdog. How is that possible?
Well, I'm very familiar and comfortable being an underdog. I think a lot of Canadians can relate to that. But what I'm looking at right now is I'm seeing a country where there's a lot of workers who are worried about losing their jobs. I hear people worried about the cost of living getting more expensive. And I know that folks like Pierre Poilievre and Mark Carney would want nothing better than for the New Democrats to disappear. For us not to point out the fact that Mark Carney's first steps was to bring in a tax cut for millionaires at a time when he's promising also his plan is to cut services for people. And that Pierre Poilievre shows up to a factory where workers had just lost their job. And he proposes a tax cut for big business and nothing for those workers who lost their job. I'm sure they would want nothing other than for us to disappear and not point out those things.
Well, yeah, businesses have
we're not going anywhere. We're here, and we're going to fight for people every single day.
Well, yes. Let me know if I'm right. Maybe this is just me, but when businesses have to pay less taxes, they have more money to keep people. When they have to pay more taxes, they either have to jack up their prices or they have to lay people off. Now, the NDP would just give all these workers more money. Or I think what he talked about earlier was increasing the EI, and that's not going to work because EI is already your money, and if you get more EI back, you have to pay that back to the government during tax season. So, I mean, the worker's going to be paying either way, but Jameet doesn't really tell them that. Now, I'm fine if on your EI check, if the government gives you the option to get more than 55% or less than 55% of what you have, that would be awesome. And that's something that they could look into. But just giving people more money does not work.
And just as a follow-up, if I may just drill down on you. Again, it's your third campaign. So why are you deserving of a job promotion going into an election campaign with such weakened support?
Oh.
Well, we've shown Canadians who were feeling really like a lot of struggle and worries that we can deliver for them. When people were saying that we can't afford to take care of our teeth, we delivered dental care. For folks that were telling us that they couldn't afford their medication, we delivered pharmacare. We've delivered for Canadians. And I want folks to know in this time when there are serious threats to our country, we know that the other guys aren't in it for you. They've showed you their priorities. Mark Carney spent his career making rich people richer, and he's done it profiting off of the crisis, like the housing crisis. Pierre Poilievre, like Conservatives always do, wants tax cuts for his billionaire buddies and cut services for you and your family. If you want someone that's going to fight for you, that's always going to put you and your family first. Not the billionaires, not the CEOs, but you. That's us. That's New Democrats. And that's what we're going to show you every single day of this campaign.
Thank you very much. Next media.
You know, I think the issue with this pharmacare or plan that they have, I've been thinking about it a lot, and it's just for diabetes medication. So, and now that it's government funded, I don't think it's going to get any better. It's kind of like the prices of it is just going to go up and up and up, and we're not going to know because we're going to be paying for it through our taxes, and they're not going to be making more and more and more of that, the insulin equipment. So I kind of view it as in the United States, well, and here, they're universities, right? All the universities are government funded because every person in the United States takes students' loans out, and the schooling doesn't get better, it just gets worse. So I think what we need to do, and hopefully what the Conservatives do, is promote the creation of more factories to create more insulin than to bring the prices down. I think that would be way better rather than just making everybody pay for it. But what do you think, Dan H? like I usually say, I'm just a guy who reads things on the internet.
Hi, Mr. Singh.
And yes, NDP is just about gimme, gimme,
During your
gimme.
speech, you described
Rolex
Carney as an
Jameet there.
elitist and Polyev as someone who cuts deals with billionaires, but poll after poll shows that their messages are resonating more than yours. So why do you think that is?
Well, this is an important election, and in this election, we're going to show Canadians the choices that they have. Mark Carney is already showing you now his priorities. What are some of the first things that he did once becoming Prime Minister? He did a flip-flop on capital gains, which is a tax cut that benefits mostly people who earn more than $1.4 million a year.
No, it doesn't.
He is prioritizing the people that he's always worked for, his whole career. Not surprising. He has made rich people richer, and he's done it on the backs of working class folks. He's done it on the backs of the middle class folks. And so I want folks to know that. They need to know who he's in it for. And Pierre Poilievre, his plan is also one that's going to give tax breaks to billionaires and cut services for you. He's already said he's going to cut, his plan is to cut dental care. He wants to cut pensions. He's already put that plan forward. He wants to cut the things that you and your family need to give more to his billionaire buddies. We are different. We are proposing a plan. Our plan is to lower your bills, to take on the corporate grocery giants that jack up your prices, put in place a price cap on those food essentials, to ban corporations from buying up affordable homes. We are going to fight for you. Every day of this campaign, we're going to show you the choices that you have, and we're going to make it clear that New Democrats have your back and that we're in it for you.
So you're not going to hear this coming from me very often, but I do like his view on banning massive corporations from buying up residential housing, because the fact that we actually have that is the reason why we have this housing crisis to begin with. And, well, it's one of the reasons why, not the only reason, but the rest of what he was talking about is just plain gibberish. And he's not answering the question about his message not resonating.
Both Carney and Polyev to Trump in their own ways, if I'm reading that correctly. Do you think both of those leaders are Trump-like in their own way, and is that part of your strategy in this campaign to tie them to the U.S. president?
Well, let's be clear. Donald Trump has come out and endorsed Mark Carney. Elon Musk has endorsed Pierre Poilievre. I'm the only federal candidate that is 100% not endorsed by the Donald Trump administration.
There's probably a very, very good reason about that.
En français, juste sur ça.
Cela, oui. Je peux le faire encore en anglais parce que j'ai aimé dire ça.
Non, ça va aller juste en français, on va le prendre, merci.
Elon Musk has endorsed Pierre Poilievre. Donald Trump has endorsed Mark Carney. I'm the only candidate 100% not endorsed by anyone in the Donald Trump administration.
And he thinks that's a good thing.
Et en français, parce que j'ai hâte de répéter ça, parce que c'est important pour les gens de savoir.
I'm the only politician.
Mark Carney a été appuyé par Donald Trump.
Everybody else thinks is
Elon
incompetent.
Musk a appuyé
Vote
Pierre
for
Poilievre.
me.
Donc je suis le seul candidat au niveau fédéral qui est 100% non appuyé par l'administration de Donald Trump.
Oh, that made my day.
Première question.
That was pretty funny.
Bonjour, Juliane Lapointe de Radio-Canada.
I didn't know Jameet was a comedian.
Vous avez parlé dans votre discours du rêve de Jack Layton, mais en ce moment, le seul siège que vous détenez, le NPD au Québec, est même pas assuré pour les élections. Qu'est-ce que vous avez de nouveau à offrir au NPD aux Québécois pour inverser cette tendance?
Le Bloc a montré qu'ils sont un parti inutile.
Et quand on regarde les chiffres dans les
commercial avec la menace, décision compris. Well, I want these folks to know.
Mr. Singh, Mark Ramsey with the Toronto Star. You're spending quite a bit of time attacking Mark Carney and his record. He's not spending much time talking about you. You're spending a lot of time talking about Pierre Poilievre and his record. He's spending much time talking about you. Why do you think that is?
Well, I want these folks to know. I want Canadians to know what they're really about. And I'm sure Mark Carney and Pierre Poilievre would love for me not to mention what they're really trying to do and what their plan is about. But that's what we're going to do in this campaign. We're going to let folks know honestly what the other parties want to do.
So you're going to lie about
Carney
Pierre
is showing
Poilievre
us
pretty
in real
much.
time his priorities.
I like
He's
it.
shown you that his priority is to do what he's done throughout his career to make rich folks richer. He did that when he was the head of Brookfield, that engaged in rent evictions, that kicked people out of affordable homes and put those homes back on the market for triple the price they were before. He made money off the housing crisis, off of people struggling to find a home. People need to know that. They need to know that his priority is tax cuts for millionaires and cutting services for you and your family. People need to also know that Pierre Poilievre wants to do what conservatives always do. They want to cut services like health care, like dental care, like pensions. They want to cut them so they can give bigger tax breaks for their billionaire buddies. People need to know the choices they have, and they also need to know you Democrats will always have their back. We will lower your bills, build homes you can actually afford, bring down the price of groceries, make your life better.
And if Canadians elect a minority conservative or liberal government in this election, would you commit to working with either of them, or is there one in particular you wouldn't want to work with?
This is day one of the election campaign. I'm running to be prime minister of this country because I believe people deserve a prime minister that's going to work for them every single day. And that's what New Democrats do. We work for working people. We work for everyday families.
NDP
and I think people deserve that. So
news.
That's what we're going to do.
YouTube.
We'll worry about the results of the election afterwards. I'm running for
And
prime
bad
minister
names.
because I believe in you and I choose you.
Thank you very much. Le devoir.
Bonjour, M. Singh, Boris pour Le Devoir. J'avais une autre question, mais respectueusement, vous n'avez pas bien répondu à la question de mon collègue. Vous avez beaucoup mis de l'avant ce que vous êtes allé chercher au gouvernement libéral en termes de politique sociale.
Des options dans cette élection. Gros cadeau aux milliardaires. Des coupons en service pour vous et votre
is going to make it harder for you. Hi, David Thurton, CBC News.
NDP
This
News Shorts.
election,
That's
Mr.
a
Singh,
good
is
one.
about a couple of things.
I like it.
One of those things is certainly change. Do you feel that your past support for the Justin Trudeau government is going to make it harder for you to embody change?
What we have shown folks is that we can deliver real change. We can deliver concrete changes in your life. We have shown you that when we go out and campaign on dental care, we can deliver it. I think about this boy that I met in Parliament with his dad. He wanted to visit me and talk to me about his illness. He's a kid with type 2 diabetes, young kid living with an incurable disease. And though he's got to take injections and he's got to take medication just to stay alive, he told me that he was not worried about any of that. The injections, the medication, monitoring his blood sugar, none of that bothered him. He was worried that he was a burden on his dad. And I promised that kid that I was going to fight like hell to make sure he didn't have to worry about the cost of medication. And I kept my promise. We have now a pharmacare program. 3 provinces have signed up where diabetes medication and devices will be free. That's what we did. We made that happen. That was never going to happen with Liberals on their own. That was never going to happen without New Democrats forcing it to happen, making it happen. So we can deliver real things that make people's lives better. And I want you to know that when I promise to bring down prices, when I promise to take on corporate greed, when I promise to ban corporations from buying up affordable homes, you can trust me because I deliver.
And that for kids, yeah, it does sound like a NDP story time, but for kids, I mean, they do need all this medication that costs a ton. And especially when it's no fault of their own, right? You're kind of born with this. It's more like we shouldn't have to pay for it when you're an adult or you have a job, right? Stuff like that.
Mr. Singh, I'll just follow up here. You had a lot to say about Mark Carney and a lot about what he's done to cash in on this crisis, you've said. What evidence do you have that Mark Carney has done anything unethical?
Oh, probably
to
not.
Take advantage of this crisis.
What other?
Well, the fact that he headed up Brookfield.
Apparently,
and Brookfield is a large corporate landlord in Canada that engaged in renovation.
Mother in the middle
at
of
a time when Canadians could not find affordable
the
homes.
Park as well.
He saw a way to make more profit for his company. And now I don't fault him for making profit for his company. I fault him for proposing that somehow the person that fed the housing crisis, that rent-evicted people, that jacked up the price of homes that were affordable, that bought up affordable homes, then turned them into unaffordable places, that somehow that guy could be trusted to fix the housing crisis. He cannot be trusted. What he's going to do is what he's done his entire career, which is make more money for the super rich. And it's going to hurt you and your family.
Well, yeah,
that's what people.
He hasn't told us.
I'm going to point that out every time.
Who he's invested in, and we're in an election.
Is proposing to cut the things that you need at a time of uncertainty and fear and worry. He wants to cut healthcare, cut pensions, cut childcare. These are things that are going to cost you out of pocket, and he's doing all of that just to give bigger tax breaks to the richest, as conservatives always do. You deserve better than that. You deserve new Democrats who will bring down your bills, build homes you can afford, and make sure life is more affordable.
And make sure you can eat food.
Last questions.
But this is what I don't get. Why doesn't Jameet, instead of making this whole weird speech about him being just for the rich, or Mark Carney, why not just tell Canadians that Mark Carney's just there to make himself rich? He hasn't told us what he's invested in, and we're already at an election. And just say that to Canadians, and we'll understand. Because that's kind of sus. Even though Mark Carney is technically allowed 3 months, I believe it is, to submit all that information or something like that, when he could be already prime minister in power making all these decisions, and Canadians might be voting to make him richer. We don't know. Whoops.
Hey,
Come on,
Rachel
NDP.
Aiello,
If I can
CTV
think
News.
about that, you
have
can
you
think
had,
about
or did
this
you try to
stuff.
have any conversations with Liberal leader Mark Carney since he won that election?
No, we've not had any conversations.
And so heading into this campaign, you're talking a lot about look at what the NDP were able to do in the last parliament. How are you going to cross the country trying to pitch Canadians on that message when you've got no assurances that your old dance partner's new leader wants to tango with you at all?
Ooh.
Because I don't want to dance with them. I want to be the prime minister of this country. I want folks to know that we got things done, and you can see that we delivered for you. Imagine if you elect more of us, how much more we can do for you. Imagine if you elect a new Democrat government, what we could do for you. That's what I want people to know.
Thank you. This ends the press conference. En français, s'il vous plaît, Monsieur Singh.
Sorry, I'm just going to jump in here because you never.
Non, est-ce que vous voulez répéter, Monsieur Singh, en français?
En français, oui, en français. Donc, c'est une question sur la danse. Je ne veux pas danser avec les autres chefs de parti. Je veux devenir Premier ministre pour livrer les marchandises pour les gens. On a eu l'occasion de livrer des changements qui a aidé la vie des gens dans un gouvernement minoritaire. Imaginez ce qu'on peut faire si on a un gouvernement néo-démocrate qui chaque jour travaille pour vous et votre famille. Qu'est-ce qu'on peut accomplir ensemble? Merci beaucoup. Thanks so much.
This ends the press conference. Thank you very much. C'est ce qui termine notre conférence de presse. Merci beaucoup.
Well, I guess delusion is another NDP trait as well. Or a Jameet trait as well, since he thinks he's going to be prime minister. So when, who was it, the first or second interviewer told him that he was below the Liberals in the polls. Not that I believe the polls at all. But what do you guys think? What do you think in the chat down below? Do you think Jameet even has a chance at getting leader of the opposition. They don't have a chance of winning, but they might still have opposition power, maybe. Possibly. Anyways, I think that's all I got for you today. Thank you, Dan H., for the chat. That was pretty cool of you. And I might not be coming around with any more videos today. I'll probably have another live stream with a bunch of backed up articles that I've had throughout the week. Later tonight, probably around 8ish, and it'll be the same sort of spiel. Gaming, yeah, half gaming, half having it. All the articles on the left side, and then we just kind of go through that. Other than that, thank you as well, Dan. Have a great day. Oh, I'm totally looking forward to this election as well. What the...